Hey guys, my name's Lindsay Sutherland. I'm a business consultant, but the real truth is I help people with the boring parts of their business. Everybody wants to talk about profit and, marketing and sales, and that is all important and definitely subjects I help my clients with. But where I am going to focus today is on the stuff that most business owners don't want to do. To me, I put it like this. It's like the last box um, in your house when you move to a new house, and you have that final box that just doesn't get unpacked, right? I always think about the movie The Incredibles, when Mrs. Parr calls Bob and she's like, guess what? It's official. And she's washing the baby's hair. That is kind of like what business organization is to a business. It's the last box. They're so focused in the beginning on getting new clients and just getting it off the ground that they often don't think about the processes and the flow of things. And rightly so. And sometimes it's almost impossible to think about the processes until you've been at it for a while, because it's a little bit of trial and error. So today's topic is really focusing on businesses that have been at it for a little while. You've gotten your ship to take flight or your plane to take flight, and now you need to organize and streamline your process, maybe even automate parts of your process. Well, tech is a really important component to this, and today's training is really about the process to doing this in leveraging tech. Now, if you want the full workshop, the 3-day Organize Your Practice workshop, just text the word holistic to 55444 and you'll get instant access to the replay. And you'll see day 1 and day 2 where we help you do the heavy lifting with your brain, where you map out the processes, put them on paper, and we walk you through the steps so you don't feel that overwhelmed. Then this is a short version of day 3 where we take that and automate it, okay? And the reason I do this is because tech is a major pain point for a lot of people. They know they need it, especially virtual service providers. They might have started with a few different tech solutions and are frustrated because they don't do everything they want them to do, or they feel overwhelmed because they don't know where to go, what to do, like what type of tech could solve their problem. And that's what's really interesting, is a lot of times there's so much technology for so many different pieces of a business pie, so to speak. It's easy to overlook or not know what to look for because you don't know what you don't know. So I want to open your eyes to some software that can really be a game changer for you if you're ready to level up your practice. Okay, first of all, let me share my screen. Okay, so you should be able to see this. This is a high-level overview, so to speak, of what a traditional person goes through when they're doing online, any business online. This could be like you're a coach of some sort, maybe you do energy work and you do virtually. It doesn't really matter what you do. If you're a nutritionist, if you've had a specifically online practice, this is a very natural course of technological selection, okay? So we usually start out with something like Calendly, simple, right? No big deal. We've got a booking system, yay. We've got an email house, MailerLite, MailChimp, Mooseend. There's hundreds of them to choose from that handle just email, okay? So then that's an easy, they're also very inexpensive. You might be like, okay, this is good. I've got this, I'm good to go. As your business progresses, we start seeing things like people trying to batch content for social media. So they use a social media scheduler. They want to launch courses online. So they use something like a Coursera. If they're overwhelmed with task management, there's software for that. There's software for signing contracts. You get my gist. What's interesting and what I want to highlight here on this slide is that all of these tech solutions solve a specific problem. They are not a they're not a one for all. It's not the whole pie. They're a piece of each pie. And when we start patchwork quilting our tech solutions, which is very common, this is what we get: multiple passwords, oodles of dollars of subscriptions going out, and it feels like we're just held hostage. Learning curves, there's so much to learn in these systems. and you pick one and you just run with it because you don't want to take the time to learn something else. You know, this is the decision loop that we often go through. Number one, we do the research phase, right? We kind of have an idea of what our problem is. And let's say you want to automate your invoice problem, or invoicing rather. It's taking you a lot of time to create invoices and send them off. So you want to automate this as much as you can. So you start researching tech solutions. You go down this bunny trail, and there's so many. I feel so bad. There was this one woman I saw, this depicts this story perfectly. On a Facebook group, she's like, okay, guys, I was telling all the people in the group, I finally figured out what CRM I want to use. And that's the word she used, was a CRM, which she was looking at Kajabi, and she was comparing it to, I want to say it was like Keep or something like that. She's like, I've done all the research. I've got it narrowed down to these two. Which of these two do you recommend? Now, the caveat to that and why I felt bad for her is because I was reading the comments and nobody just simply said this one or that one. Over 80% of the comments were like, I wouldn't choose either one. I go with this one. And I'm like, oh, my stars, this poor woman's like back to the beginning, because truly, until you actually use the software, you don't really know if it's right for your business. But by that point, you've already done the research and investigation. You chose your product. You've had to learn it. You design it to fit your needs, and then you get to use it. And then you're like, okay, whoops, I found out that one isn't really what I needed, or it only covers this piece of my pie and I need it to do this much of my pie, but you didn't know it till you got into it. And who wants to start all over? Have you ever been in that position where you got totally embedded with a tech solution, realized it didn't fully fit your needs, but you don't want to switch because you've got so much there, right? It is a huge undertaking. I've done it. I understand. You're looking for that easy button. You want a tech solution that is as robust as it can be without having a whole lot of pitfalls, and you want it to be seamless, right? You don't want it to slow your business down. How many times have you had to almost put your business on hold to learn to get a tech, or you're thinking to yourself, well, when I get this done, then I'll whatever, I'll do this first and then it's going to get easier. It can really slow a business down, learning and implementing a new software. So, the old way of thinking is very much like a funnel, okay? And I want to show you a lot of the software you see is very focused on this old model. Look at Active Campaigns, HubSpot, ClickFunnels. These types of things are very lead focused, okay? So cold lead, we drop them into a nurture sequence. We have a warm lead, product and pricing, and then out pops a customer, right? And that's where it ends. It's like, oh, well, once they're a customer, we're good. But that's not where I come from. As a business consultant, I recognize that our business is a circle. It's holistic. Think of it more like a flywheel model, because you have the attraction phase, which is really the funnel, attract and engage. But then once they've become your client, you'd want to delight them. You want to nurture them. You want to, keep them around and leverage their network to bolster your business. Otherwise it's very exhausting and expensive to just having to keep getting new clients all the time. Okay. So this here, as you can see, if you look, it goes from strangers is where you do the attraction phase, engage prospects. Then you've got customers that are coming through here, and then you're delighting them. They become your promoters. Okay, so see how, and then the promoters influence strangers. Yeah, so it's a flywheel. It's a process. And this goes into, and we talked about the day 1 and day 2 slides. So lead process is one of 5 ways one of the main processes to organize your business and boost profits. Financial process, client onboarding process, referral and testimonial process, task management, and follow-up goes out here on this outer loop because they follow in everywhere, right? That's going to trickle into everything you're doing. So this is really the model you want your tech to follow. You don't necessarily want something that's short-sighted. You want something that's holistic. You want to avoid this patchwork quilt. You want one solution, and that's a CRM. It's a client relationship management software. Now, my friends, I'm going to tell you there is, again, hundreds of these to choose from. Some of them starting from very little a month all the way up to hundreds of dollars a month. And the thing that I want you to know is that, excuse me, with a client relationship software, you can get a very robust system. I mean, it might even include things you don't really need right now, but I would encourage you to think beyond your today. Think about what you want your business to look like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and get yourself invested in a system that can grow with you and sustain your company long term, because the last thing you want is to have to switch technology, which we already talked about. Also, you want to avoid spending hours learning how to build the technology or paying someone to build it for you. So I'm going to introduce you to a software that me and my business partner, Emily, have built out. It's called Biz in a Box Solution. And it includes, so I'm going to only highlight some of these because it's a lot, but social media scheduler, proposal contracts, calendar booking, payment processing. These ones here in red alone is easily like 50 to 75, maybe even $100 a month in subscriptions, depending on which software you go to, but it doesn't stop there. You've got communities, you've got courses, website integration, landing pages, email templates, affiliate options. That goes back to earlier when I was talking about these software. One of the things that I see a lot in these solutions, these tech solutions, is they restrict you on how many contacts you could have for, it's a low price to get in, but then once you get to a certain level of products or you get to a certain level of customers in your database, they raise the price. And it made sense to me all these years. I thought, oh, that makes sense because as my business grows, I'll be able to afford more. And it's logical. But what if there was a solution that didn't do that? What if there was a solution that just from the beginning had all this? It didn't charge you more for add-ons, so to speak, like that. Or as your business grows, it doesn't necessarily hike up the price just because. So it also has some customizations that are specific for holistic practitioners. We have a custom setup and onboarding process designed to tailor the system to your business. That means your logos, your colors, your fonts, those types of things will be set up. A preset reactivation campaign, you just tell us your coupon and we plug it in. Health intake form, again, it's customizable, but it's a framework that's already there. These are the things that take you so much time to build when you get a software. And we've already done that for you and so much more. Plus, you get Emily and I here to help you get through it. We schedule a one-on-one meeting with you when we get it built. It takes us a couple weeks to get it set up, but once it's set up, then you get to meet with us and we're going to teach you everything you need to know to get in there and start using it that day. Doesn't that sound lovely? So you don't have to wait and put your whole business on pause just to learn. And I already kind of explained to you the unlimited products and such. It's only $147 a month with a $349 setup fee because we do all that heavy lifting for you. So if you're interested in booking a demo, just click the link below. We'll schedule a time. We'll show you the product. If it's something you like, great. If not, that's okay too. I appreciate you tuning in. Until next time. Bye for now.